I think one book that influenced me, particularly for the writing I'm Thinking of Ending Things, would be Michelle Faber's book, Under the Skin, which is a book I love, I loved and I still love, and a book that I've read multiple times, and one, again, that I think is hard to classify. To me, it's just a literary novel, and yet some people have called it horror, some people have called it science fiction, or a thriller. So that, to me, I loved the idea of reading a book that instead of trying to explain it, you just wanted to give it to someone and say, read this, and then we can talk about it. And it was also interesting to see that they made a film of that book, and the film is very different, and I love it too. I think both are excellent, and in their own right. The response from readers is strong, and people have opinions about it, and they I think maybe what has been most consistent is that people want to find out what I think of the book, or what the book means for me, especially the end. And I don't say. I've never really said publicly what the end is supposed to be or what people are supposed to get from it, because if I do say what the book means for me, everybody will think they should think the same, because they will think, oh, well, that's what the author intended. And so a lot of the time people ask me, well, what does the end mean for you? And I just sort of reflect the question back to them and ask them, well, what do you think it means? And whatever they say, I tell them they're right, because I think they are. If they've read it, then they have as much authority as I do to say what the book is about. And I mean, to me, that's what books do. They generate discussion. And all my favorite books make me want to talk about them with people who've read them. And so if it kind of causes any type of strong reaction, I like that. I'm happy with that. When there was some interest in the film world, I was very surprised, but pleasantly surprised. It was nice, and as I said, I have an interest in film, and particularly Charlie Kaufman, who is the writer and director for the film. I've been a big fan of his for a long time, so when I found out that he had even read the book, I was pleased, and it was sort of surreal when I got a chance to talk to him, and then that he expressed interest in adapting it. I'm involved as a producer, so both Charlie and Netflix agreed that I could be a co-producer on the film. So if they have any questions, I will happily answer them, or I will explain sort of reasons why I wrote the book the way I did. But really, he's writing the screenplay, and I want him, to feel the freedom to write it as he wants. And I'm excited to see what he comes up with. It'll be different than the book because it's a film, so inherently it'll be different. But I think it's going to be very good, and I can say I think it's going to be very scary.